We have exciting news for any Legend of Zelda fans. Recently, new trailers, gameplay details, and systems have been revealed for the upcoming Breath of the Wild successor, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It is looking more and more like the creativity of the community from Breath of the Wild has inspired the developers to create some really cool and unique game mechanics to do some pretty fun and crazy looking things in Tears of the Kingdom. So if you've seen people do the crazy stunts like shoot yourself across the map in Breath of the Wild, well, it looks like we are going to have more freedom and abilities to do fun things like this in this new game. For instance, we have a power called Fuse that lets us get really creative with our weapons by combining different items in the world together to create some unique and awesome combos, but it also changes your weapon's stats and durability. But then there's also the Ultra Hand power, which lets us create our own vehicles in the open world, such as rafts, hot air balloons, and more. And that's not even everything, because in the most recent trailer we got an even better look at the overall world, the bosses, the combat, and just generally hints at different aspects of how the game will play. But within this trailer we also got to see someone who I didn't quite recognize. So who is this princess character looking like to you? Could it be some kind of low rule style Zelda or someone from A Link to the Past? Do you have any guesses who this is? Hook us up in the comments down below. So let's go over this new stuff, and if you enjoy this video, hitting that like button is an awesome way to show us support. And if you aren't already subscribed, well, we have a lot of cool things coming your way soon that you don't want to miss out on. So in the recent official trailer number 3, it looks like the world is as big in scope as we hoped, with giant landscapes and huge boss-like structures coming out of the desert itself, with the sand being sucked into the ground. Honestly, this trailer got me even more hyped. There was so much cool stuff shown, and it's a lot to take in. It's super cool seeing the castle of Hyrule ominously floating, and a big criticism from Breath of the Wild was its lack of dungeons with shrines replacing this aspect. But puzzles and challenges look to be making a return, and it seems like they might be full-on dungeons this time, which in my opinion would take the game from great to god tier. But most interestingly for me is the 2 very short snippets of giant monster-like bosses that I guess we're going to fight, and I can't wait to jump into the game and see how it is to take on these giant monsters, including this huge dragon. Of course, Ganon himself is there and he seems very powered up and angry, but we also see this red version of someone who could be Ganon, or could it be Demise from Skyward Sword. Ganon and Demise are linked together, so maybe this story is going to be even more crazy than we thought. On top of this, a lot of people are speculating on the Zonai being involved in the game in some way. Will it just be their ruins that we will see, or are we actually going to find their people in-game? They're a powerful magic-wielding tribe rumored to be barbaric, but I'm pretty sure we've never actually seen how they look like before, so could this be the first time we see them? We also got to see a bunch of the new powers used in different ways, which I absolutely love. This includes Link riding on a homemade mech, fusing a shield onto a sword, and even using the recall ability to send a rock back to an enemy to explode. Well, experiencing this new trailer is definitely something special while you can hear its music in all of its glory. So make sure to stick around till the end to watch it after we round up all of the newest details and powers next. But the game is coming out on May 12th, 2023, so it's really not too long away now, and if we use Breath of the Wild as a playtime gauge, I'm going to assume many of you are going to be playing Tears of the Kingdom for quite some time. Next, let's jump into the powers that are new to Tears of the Kingdom. Ascend is a pretty cool one when it comes to quality of life changes in exploring the open world. You probably already know that climbing cliffs in Breath of the Wild can be a nightmare and does need a lot of stamina and time. Well, now we have a new power called Ascend that lets you jump through buildings and cave ceilings, so you can easily get to the top of areas without having to actually climb up on the outside. The caveat is that it needs a ceiling for you to ascend through, but if it has one, you can basically use this anywhere, which is really cool and will make climbing things so much easier. So don't sleep on this power, because if you're an explorer and like to travel around, this is going to help you out loads. Another great power for exploration though is the recall power, simply because in Tears of the Kingdom there are tons of sky islands really high up in the sky, and we'll need a way to get all the way up there to explore and get new items in these islands. Well, the recall power will basically let us rewind time on falling objects, so if you see a boulder falling down from the sky, you can travel to where it fell and recall on it while riding it, and it will take you all the way up super high into the sky, so you can explore these islands with ease, or simply jump off of them so you can get to somewhere else was far away on the ground. But fighting is a big part of the game too, which you may remember from Breath of the Wild, where your weapons have limited durability and different amounts of damage. Things will break after using them a lot still in Tears of the Kingdom, but now we have a new ability previously mentioned called Fuse. With this, you can combine together all manner of different objects in the world to boost the durability and damage and the weapon itself. For instance, we saw a stick fused with a boulder to create a mace-style weapon that did more damage and had much more durability. There was also a long stick that was fused with a pitchfork to create a super long lance-style weapon so you could safely attack enemies from further away. The combinations seem to be pretty endless, and I can't wait to try this for myself, but it doesn't end here. There are even more crazy things you can do, like fusing things to arrows, such as leaves, or even white choo-choo jelly to make elemental reactions when you hit an enemy. So the possibilities for this are going to be crazy because of all of the different materials that you can get in the game. But one of my favorites was when they used an eyeball on an arrow to make it into a homing arrow that easily lets you hit fast-moving, far-away things like flying birds, and I can't wait to try this one out in-game itself. On top of this, you can even fuse things onto your shield, and an example that we saw was a puff shroom being fused onto a shield, which then exploded into a ton of smoke when your shield got hit. This allows you to then sneak behind the enemy and do a powerful sneak attack, so like I said before, the possibilities are pretty crazy, and I can't wait to see some crazy and powerful things that the community will find to put together. So do you have any guesses on what will be super powerful to fuse together? Let us know in the comments down below. And next we have another new power, this time called Ultra Hand. It's similar to the fuse ability, but for a whole different purpose. With Ultra Hand, you can basically make vehicles by combining different objects in the world together. They showed us a really good example of them fusing together materials to create a raft. By attaching logs and fans onto it, it allowed them to cross a long river. But we also got to see some crazy pictures of a car-style vehicle, a hot air balloon, and a flying machine. So it seems that we will be making some super crazy stuff, and again, I can't wait to see what the community will make when it comes to combining together all of these different things. The world looks really big and seems to have a whole ton of freedom, but do you think they've gone in the right direction for Tears of the Kingdom by expanding on some of the things that made Breath of the Wild so fun? Or would you rather have had a totally different and new game that's taken in another direction? Tell us your thoughts down in the comments below. And hit that like button because it's a great way to support us if you enjoyed this video. But just in case you missed the latest trailer, we're gonna let it play out for you guys.
Zelda, we rely on your knight, and that legendary sword he carries. Our last line of defense will be Link.
Link. know why I am here. It's something only I can do.
Do not look away. You witness a king's revival and the birth of his new world.
Okay, let's go!
But you are not alone.
Link. You are our final hope.
And the two videos on screen now we think you'll really enjoy if you did enjoy this one. Of course, you don't have to watch them if you don't want to, but if you did find this video interesting or helpful, you're probably going to like these ones too. And then tell us what you think in the comments down below.